Have you ever seen a leader, someone you admired, just crumble? It's a tough thing to watch. We see it in business, in politics, in our own communities. One moment they're on top of the world, making big decisions, inspiring everyone around them. The next, it all falls apart. But why does this happen? It's rarely just one bad decision. Often, it's a slow burn, a series of hidden pressures that build up until they can't be ignored. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the deep, often invisible reasons why leaders fail. This isn't about pointing fingers. It is about understanding the immense pressure that comes with the job and learning how to spot the warning signs, both in others and in ourselves. Let's start with the most common, yet most overlooked, factor: isolation. It's ironic, isn't it? Leaders are constantly surrounded by people, employees, advisors, stakeholders. But genuine connection can be incredibly rare. The higher you climb, the more the conversations become filtered. People tell you what they think you want to hear, not necessarily what you need to hear. This creates an echo chamber where a leader's own biases are amplified and their flaws are never challenged. They lose touch with the ground reality of their organization. The casual chats by the water cooler, the honest feedback from a trusted peer, things fade away. Over time, this isolation breeds a dangerous combination of overconfidence and paranoia. The leader starts to believe they're the only one with the answers, while simultaneously suspecting the motives of everyone around them. This isn't a sign of a bad person. It's a symptom of a systemic problem at the top. True leadership requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is impossible in isolation. The next hidden reason is what I call success-induced blindness. They mistake luck for skill and past performance as a guarantee of future results. Innovation stalls, and the competition starts to pull ahead. The team sees it, the market sees it, but the leader, blinded by their own track record, is the last one to realize they're heading for a cliff. Their greatest strength, their history of success, becomes their biggest liability. It's a classic case of what got you here won't get you there. Now let's talk about a really subtle one: emotional exhaustion. Leadership is an emotional marathon, not a sprint. Every single day, leaders absorb the stress, anxieties, and problems of their entire team. They have to make tough calls that affect people's livelihoods, mediate conflicts, and maintain a constant face of optimism and control. Even when they're filled with doubt, this constant emotional labor takes a massive toll. It's like a battery that's always being drained but rarely gets a chance to recharge. We call it burnout, but it's deeper than just being tired. It's a depletion of empathy. The leader starts to become cynical, detached. They can't connect with their team's struggles anymore because their own emotional well is dry. Decisions become transactional, not relational. This is where you see good leaders start to make cold, calculated moves that seem completely out of character. It's not because they've suddenly become heartless, it's because they have nothing left to give emotionally. Another major factor is the savior complex. This happens when a leader genuinely believes that they, and only, can solve every problem. They take on too much. They refuse to delegate, and they micromanage every detail. On the surface, it might look like incredible dedication, but underneath, it's a profound lack of trust in their team. This not only burns the leader out, but also completely disempowers their people. Talented employees become frustrated because they're never given the autonomy to grow or take ownership. They either leave, or they simply stop trying. The organization's capacity becomes limited to the capacity of one single person. The leader becomes a bottleneck. When a crisis hits, instead of having a resilient, capable team ready to respond, you have one overwhelmed person trying to juggle everything. And that's a recipe for disaster. Then there's the fear of appearing weak. Leaders are expected to be strong, decisive, and admitting "I do, you aren't, no," or "I need help" can feel like a career-ending confession. So, They pretend. They project an aura of absolute certainty even when they're lost. They avoid asking for advice because they think it will undermine their authority. This creates a culture where mistakes are hidden instead of being learned from. Problems fester under the surface because no one wants to be the bearer of bad news to a leader who couldn't show vulnerability. This is incredibly dangerous. The best leaders understand that strength isn't about having all the answers. It is about having the courage to ask the right questions and the humility to listen to the answers, no matter where they come from. True strength is in collaboration, not in solitary. Let's also consider the pressure of public and private personas. In today's hyper-connected world, leaders live in a fishbowl. They have a public image to maintain: the visionary, the innovator, the steady hand. But they also have a private life, with all the same struggles and imperfections as anyone else. The effort required to keep these two worlds separate, to constantly manage the brand of you, is immense. When a crack appears in the private life, a family issue, a health problem, it can threaten to shatter the public persona. The stress of this balancing act is enormous. Some leaders crumble because they can no longer sustain the facade. The person they are is too far removed from the person they're pretending to be, and that internal conflict becomes unbearable. It means prioritizing your own mental and emotional health, understanding that it's not selfie sheets, essential for sustainable leadership. It means learning to trust your team and empowering them to be part of the solution. And most importantly, it means redefining strength, not as a lack of weakness, but as the courage to be vulnerable and authentic. And for those of us who aren't in top leadership roles, we have a part to play, too. We can help create cultures where it's safe to give honest feedback. We can offer support to our leaders instead of just criticism. We can recognize that they are human beings, subject to the same pressures and pains as the rest of us. Building resilient leaders is a collective effort. By understanding the hidden reasons they crumble, we can help build them up instead. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what you think is the biggest hidden challenge for leaders today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights into leadership and personal growth. See you next time.